I'm here with John of Crystal Lake to talk about The Weight of Sound, out January 23rd on Century Media Records. Man, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the channel to talk about Crystal Lake. And there's so much to talk about this record because I've had a chance to listen to the album multiple times. So
Cool.
I really have like I dove headfirst into it and really absorbed what you guys have created with this new record. But before we even talk about that, let me just ask you, being the new kid on the block, how was it for you stepping in into Crystal Lake and into their sound and into perhaps the creative process behind making this album?
Uh, it was kind of natural, but at the same time, it kind of was something that I had to I really had to write my best stuff because it had to be catchy all the time. You know what I mean? It wasn't like in other death metal bands I was in or deathcore bands I was in where it just had to be like heavy or it just had to, it had to be something else. Like this was a completely different type of writing. So it felt natural to be with the guys, which is why I wanted to be in the band. It felt natural to write with them, but it had its challenges. You know what I mean? It's it's good music. It's hard to write to.
What attributes do you feel like you had to have in order to be the right guy for the band at this point in time?
I mean, not even talking about myself, just in general, it needs to be someone who can endure the music industry. Uh, we kind of have that part a little bit turned up in our band. Like we tour a lot, you know what I mean? We try to focus on our craft a lot. We try to focus on how we present ourselves a lot. Uh that stuff can really get to you if you're not ready for it. You know what I mean? And luckily all of us handle it pretty well. But, you know, uh yeah, basically that. Like
So you have no fear of being left at a gas station somewhere in upstate New York or Vermont for per se.
no, 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 no. I have no worries. I I am uh more friends with this band than my last band. So I'm not, I'm not stressed about them.
No,
We got
nobody's leaving you in a gas station. That's good to know. I gotta ask this question these days because you just never know. I mean, seriously, like stranger things have happened.
apparently.
Yes, apparently. Now, when it came to the creative process in this record, coming into the band, you have your own way of looking at music, your own way of writing music, and the guys had their own way of putting things together. Was it easier to bring these two worlds together, yours and theirs?
Kind of because they write in a very old school kind of way. Like when I listen to Crystal Lake so many times, I hear like old Shia Lude. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like every time I die, like I even though we're not playing stuff like that at all, and people are probably shaking their heads like, no, not at all. But it really does to me at times. And bands like that era are very much alive in me. Very much alive amongst my friends and even in the van when we're driving around in Japan and we have we put on music, which is like a rare thing that we do. But like, it's usually old school metalcore. They put on like As I Lay Dying, and everyone's like, oh, you know, it it's it felt it there we're very much the same age, even though like we're a couple of us are not the same age. Like we're very much hanging out with the same people, you can tell. Um they're city kids, I'm a city kid. Like it just works. And like I said, like the writing, it felt natural, but it only had its challenges because you had to figure out how to do it right. You know what I mean? But it felt natural to be with them. So like everything about hanging out with Crystal Lake and writing with Crystal Lake and touring with Crystal Lake is an interesting experience in a positive way all the time. Like they're
You
crazy guys.
used the word before that I think it's really important on this record, which was like, well, not a word. You used the sentence saying like, "Oh, we had to make catchy songs. Like, I wanted to make like hooky, catchy songs," and I felt this album doesn't lose any of its heaviness, but it does gain. When I look at previous records from Crystal Lake, it doesn't lose any of its heaviness, but it does have a little bit more of an ear appeal. And I think that's where that hookiness and catchiness really comes in because the songs are still heavy, still great guitar riffs, still very guitar driven, but they sound a lot more appealing. They sound more memorable, for a lack of a better term.
I,
Is that where you see the catchiness and the hookiness play a role in making the songs have that sort of vibe?
I guess for us, yes. For me, it's not all about catchiness and all of that doesn't necessarily mean choruses and singing. It just means like, for example, we'll use the Acacia Strain, right? Like a lot of Acacia Strain songs are very, very, very memorable. You remember the words, you remember the part. You know, things like Stick to Your Guns, like those you remember those vocal parts. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I wanted it to be, like the way Architects is, the way Every Time I Die is, like how those bands are yelling or singing and being heavy and not necessarily trying to be heavy. It just is heavy because what they're saying and how it is presented makes it have weight. You know what I mean? Every Time I Die is a great example of that, with the way Keith Buckley writes the lyrics. And Every Time I Die is a heavy band, but at the same time, it's really just the way he like throws words and and it's what he's saying that makes it this like, So I tried to give everything. I tried to give every song that part, that line. You know what I mean? Like where you're like, oh, like this song has that like, you know, uh, that just that core, that part, that piece.
It's almost like emotionally heavy, if you will.
Yeah. Yes, yes, I say that a lot. It's very emotionally heavy, and I
Yeah.
love that. I like uh I like things like being heavy to be a byproduct of the emotions that I'm presenting. I don't like to look for heavy. You know what I mean? Same thing with like being uh like with looking cool or looking hip or whatever like that. Like that should be a byproduct of just who you are, not something you try to be. It's the same exact type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because when you try too hard, it also shows.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then it's not cool anymore.
no, no, no. Then I can see. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
It's
can
not
see
fun when I
through
can see
it.
it.
You know, it's like it's manufactured, it's programmed, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and it's
Yeah,
just not
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. When I was listening to this record, I definitely felt the emotional heaviness of the album. And for me as a listener, I need lyrics and I need vocals that bring the emotion of the words to life so that the lines become memorable to me because of the emotions that bring out of me. And I felt like this record is a record that's written obviously from your standpoint, but man, anybody listen to this record can connect with the lyrics and can connect with these messages.
That's awesome. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be something that was personal to me, but something that was also for us. And uh, a really big inspiration for that idea is like people like Dave Grohl and Marilyn Manson. Like those lyrics are about them, but like it's for you. But they don't talk about the only difference is they don't talk about what the songs are about. I like to talk about what the songs are about. I uh I don't think it takes away what the song means to you. It's just what the song means to me. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
because I want each song to have its own place in everybody's like heart, so to speak.
Do you write the lyrics to the songs once you have the song in front of you, or do you always scribble stuff around and you have like certain lines that eventually blossom into a full song?
Both. Sometimes I could, do a song right there on the spot. Other times I go into the toy box, so to speak, and I look for stuff. What's cool about my toy box is I don't throw anything out. Like once I use a chorus, it's never the same from when I take it out of the box and put it on paper. It always changes. So there's no reason it can't go back in the box because really it's just a melody that I can alter a million different ways, just like a guitar riff. So I don't delete them. I just put them at the bottom of the list, so to speak. You know what I mean? And I just shuffle through. I have this whole box of lyrics and singing parts and choruses and melodies and beats and guitar riffs and just like their voice memos. I stick them in my drive and my Dropbox, and I have notes on my just scattered around. And I learned all that from studying stand-up comics. Stand-up comics have like a lot of stand-up comics have like a joke book or like a bowl or some shit like that where like they just write shit down and they have it there. And I've been talking a lot about this with people, but like stand-up comedy is a really, really, really awesome tool for any singer because it teaches you how to notice the sarcasm or nuance in absolutely everything. And then that gives you something witty to say. And whether you want to be funny or not, that now gives you the ability to have something creative to say on the spot all the time. So, like, whether somebody says something to you or you see something, you have to write lyrics. I have something to say. Whether you know how you're going to say it is a different story. But you know what I mean? Just the ability to be able to play with words. Most people go to freestyling for this, but I like stand-up comedy because I think sarcasm can be aggressive done correctly and very emotional. And I think a lot of the lyrics on the album are actually really sarcastic if you read them at their fullest. So a lot of the metaphors are kind of sarcastic, but like they hold weight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, vocals for me are like a little journey that I stick my head in. I don't know how I get there.
Dude, you're a man after my
What
own
about
heart. I live in sarcasm land. I swear the people around me have a hard time dealing with it, but that's that's my personality, so that's how I deal with it. So I can totally appreciate where you're coming from. And one thing that surprised me about this record was that you guys had a lot of guests on this album, and the record starts off with 3 tracks featuring guests on it. What was the thought process behind it? You guys just wanted to work with some cool folks that you guys are friends with? You felt like the songs needed a little bit extra? What's the thought process?
So we really wanted to have our friends, uh, on this album, and we really wanted to have people that inspired us. And uh, we got one of our heroes on it, two of our heroes on it, and one of them happens to be our friend, and we got all our other friends on it, and we just kind of like stuck the homies together, and and we thought about what would be interesting for them to, have a good time, and I think each song really rings true to each person. I think all the lyrics uh, go with each person that's involved in the song, which is cool. Um, I didn't mean for that to be intentional in my head, but it's it's really awesome to listen to a song that has Jesse Leach on it. You know,
Yeah,
that
that
was
to me was
really
probably the one that
like
surprised me the most.
you know having Tall on it from Misery Signals. That was incredible. That's my homie now. I can confidently say that that guy is so cool, especially for how long it took us to get it done for him to do his part, and then just for him doing the part and the way he did it in general. Like that guy's the man. You know what I mean? Misery Signals forever. And they're a major. He's a major influence in my lyrics, like of just being emotional. Counterparts also, because you tell me another band that sings about their cat make you cry. I will wait. I will fucking wait. I will fucking wait. Telling you, you know what I mean? That shit is sad. It's amazing. Like,
Dude, and the record starts off, I mean, the way the record opens up, I'm like, I really hope the future brings us a Signs of the Swarm and Crystal Lake tour together. Because you guys not even give us an intro, not even an interlude. I mean, you press play and I'm already getting
yeah, just
hit in
like
the
deep
face by
breath.
a
Like,
song. Like, it was like, boom, oh, fuck, the record is on already. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's
yeah,
like you're walking in the pit at your first metal show ever, not knowing what's about to happen, and next thing you know, you're like, taken over by a circle pit or some shit like that.
yeah. There is zero lube in the intro of that album. It is just like
No
it is
chill.
right in. Yeah. I love that song. Uh, that's a great song. I I'm so happy that we wound up writing a song like that. It was so much fun to record as well, like I said, to write. So that's a good one. I'm glad it's the first one on the album.
Yeah, it's a great way to get started. I mean, the album has this incredible dichotomy to it because how aggressive it starts and then how melancholic it ends. It's like talk about doing a 180 as far as the overall experience and the journey that you guys created with this album track list.
They so like I kind of slept through track listing. They were doing it when because they stay up really late, and when they stay up late, they get into everything. But I'm a sleeper, so like I play a show and I load out, go to bed. They play a show, load out, and stay up until 8, and then sleep until load in. Like so, I woke up. I think it was the last night of tour. Me and our TM get on the rig, and like there's these little pieces of paper plate ripped into little tiny pieces, like and it has the song names on them, and they're like rearranging them in different places on the mat and stuff like that. And there, it was cool to see how it kind of came together. They were writing it on like dry erase board at festivals and like in Japan and stuff, and we all kind of I think everybody's 2 cents really played a factor in how the album got presented and laid out.
I think it's perfect. The way you guys created the
Thank
journey
you.
on this record, I think it's
On
perfect.
behalf of them, thank you.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't put a better track listing together myself. Like, it's really a well, man, it's a really adult record. I know you guys are not like old men like me, but like, it's a very adult album from the way it's presented, the way it sounds, the way it comes across. Now, when it came to the title of the record, The Weight of Sound, is that a result of that emotional heaviness that the record has?
No, so we actually had written the song "The Weight of Sound," and we had a couple other songs written already, and we just kind of decided, uh, yeah, that's gonna be the album name. Like uh, we might have known when we named the song that that was like a really solid name. Um, when we name things like songs, we sit on them for a little bit, and we usually like have 2 or 3 titles to a song before we actually decide like, okay, that's the song name. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, um, I think the way to sound is perfect in the sense that it really does those lyrics and that title really do encompass the whole album. Um, Lots of what I talk about on the album take place while I'm either on tour or home. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's all about that. And I've been touring most of my life. So I mean, a lot of the songs, even though they are about like, 10 years ago, I've been touring over 10 years, So I mean, they're just in there. Like it's all
When you got the gig, was there a song from the band that you were like super hyped to be able to sing live?
yes, dystopia. I wish we played it more. Uh when
Dude, you're in the
I
band. Like you have a voice. Like tell the guys we need
oh,
to
you mean
add
like
this more
old
to
songs?
the set list.
You mean like old songs?
Yeah, yeah. Not from the new record, like other tracks
Oh,
that.
oh, 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 so when I first joined the band, songs that we didn't. So like, I think I was most hyped to play "Disobey" and "Mephisto" and "Apollo." Those songs were the ones that I really, really wanted to play. Uh, Luckily, the first set that I played with the band, I did get to play all of those except "Disobey." I think they had it in the set, but I think somebody else played it. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I really loved Mephisto. That's still one of my favorite songs to play live. Um, Disobey also. Apollo is also a great song that I've learned to really, really, really love to play live. Not that I never disliked it, but I like it more now than I did then, even though I always liked it. I've just grown a love for it. Uh, and Sanctuary was another one. I really liked Sanctuary. I still really like Sanctuary. A lot of other songs that maybe in the set that are a little bit similar to Sanctuary, so we didn't really play it. Um, Now, what I said at first when I messed up, uh, I thought you meant like when I first joined the bands and songs that we wrote, because
Yeah, yeah.
Dystopia
But
is
I
a
also
song
want to
that
know
we
from the
wrote.
new. I also want to know from the new record which one hits the spot for you live.
So I haven't played all the songs live yet, but I really do. I'll go my original one. I really, even though I love playing The Way to Sound, that one hits the spot for me for sure.
That's a great
Um,
track.
Crossing Nails is a lot of fun live. Blood God is great live. Uh, Rebirth and Denial are awesome live. We I really like playing Sinner live. Sinner takes on a really different life live. Um, uh, there's a lot of mid melodic screaming at the end of Sinner, but live I do a lot of like really my bitter end highs, and it takes on this different kind of like thing. And we just weren't. We just decided not to do that on the album. Um, but Sinner is sick as fuck live. But like I said, Dystopia. I love playing Dystopia. Uh, I wish we played it more. Um, Hopefully we do in the future. But really, any of the new songs, when we play them, they have this really, really, really good like feeling to them. All of them, even when I'm singing them, you know what I mean? And I feel like riffs rule the world. Even though people sing words, I feel like riffs rule the world. And there's a lot of really good riffs on this album. And that's a major, a major factor, I think, in how the vocals are able to come across so emotional. It's great guitar work, great drumming. Just
I agree.
everything sings in its own way.
And you forgot one thing, great vocals.
Thank you,
Great
thank you,
vocals. I mean, like I was man, I was really happy with seeing you join the band because I feel like you honestly fit there. To quote my son, you fit like a glove and not OJ's glove. So like you perfectly fit there in the band. And then now having been able to listen to the whole record multiple times, like I really feel like you are the right guy for this job because
thanks, man.
the synergy between all of you, it really shines through on this record. It feels like you guys have been making music for together for like 30 years. You know what I mean? Like there's just such a great vibe, such a great connection.
Thank you. I felt that feeling of like, oh, we're like clicking when we first played together. It felt like my band. The first time I stepped out on stage with each other. When we played in the studio, I can't remember feeling it, but I remember it feeling good. But I remember when we stepped out on stage in that venue, the first show for the audition, it just felt like okay, we had those other kids helping us out. Here's the band type of thing. No disrespect because those other kids are still fantastic vocalists and really good people. Uh, but I love our thing together. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's not what was there before, but I like it. You know.
It's definitely good. That's all that matters.
Thank
It's the, you can't always keep looking at what's behind you. Otherwise, you might trip and fall instead of looking forward to see what's ahead of you. And I think
I trip
Crystal
all
Lake
the time.
has a bright future ahead with you. Dude, The Weight of Sound is a great record. Comes out January 23rd on Century Media Records. Congratulations on the great work. Congratulations on the great
Thank you.
album. And I honestly hope 2026 brings you closer to me and you guys play some shows in my neck of the woods. Or maybe I come across you guys somewhere in Europe at a festival or something like that because I'm dying to see you
Come,
guys live.
come hang out. It's a blast. We, as my drummer says, died today, and my bass player says never sleep all the time.
Well, from what you said, the way these guys roll, they definitely never sleep. You're
They
sleeping, but
don't.
they
They
never
don't. They
sleep.
don't. They look. They're not, and they're not like they don't have a problem. They just love to just drink and play cards and hang out. They're like just nuts. That's all.
It's good vibes. It's good vibes all around. John, man, thank you very much for your time today. It was an absolute
Thank you, man.
pleasure. And I'll see you at some point in time on the road. I'm sure of it.
Absolutely. Take it easy.
Take care, man.
Bye.